Hello and welcome to LELB Society. In this session I'm going to teach you lesson 39 of 504 absolutely essential words. As you can see, lesson 39. Okay, so before starting, as usual, let me see if there is any flashcard here. Let me see. Yes, one of them is vicinity. Vicinity means closeness, nearness. As you can see here, the teddy bear is very close to the ball. And also placard, American pronunciation, placard, British pronunciation. A poster. And urgent means very important, necessary. Rival means competitor. Opponent also you can say. Hinder, as you can see. Of course I'm going to provide you with some synonyms, but at the moment hinder means to impede, to obstruct, and to just cause some problems. Jolly means happy and full of life and enjoyment, optimistic. Jest is a kind of joke, something that is not serious. Morality means ethics, set of rules and principles according to which you need to act. Traitor, treacherous, betrayer, a person, a friend that is not loyal to you. Loyalty, it's clear, it means fraternity, brotherhood, cooperation and alliance. And hasty means rash, in a hurry, hurried. Yeah, that's it. So let me zoom in so that it is easier for you to read the text and follow me. As you can see, this is 30 units or lesson 39. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to bombard you with a lot of words and expressions, but why not? This is a great practice actually to enrich our vocabulary. Okay, word 1. Let me see if my digital board is there. Yes, it is, and ready to be used. Unearth. So first word is unearth. It means dig out, dig up, discover, find out. For unearth, I can give you, for example, this one, disinter, but it has two meanings. One of them actually is to take out a dead body from the tomb in order to make an investigation, which is so bitter, because the opposite is, as you can see, inter. Inter as a verb means to bury a person actually in their tomb. Another meaning of disinter, it means to find out, to discover, to uncover, also to unveil. Means discover, uncover. Okay. The digging of the scientists unearthed a buried city. Let's say their discoveries, their breakthrough of the scientists, perhaps archaeologists. An archaeologist is a scientist who is concerned with just excavation. Excavation. Excavation means to dig out something from the earth, from the ground, for example, in a cave or in mines. Okay, they excavate things in order to discover some mysteries that have been, as a matter of fact, covered for many years. So buried, as you can see here, buried city. Sentence B, a plot to defraud the investors was unearthed by the FBI. Plot here you can say for plot, scheme, or plan. Okay, so to defraud means to cheat, to deceive the investors was unearthed by the FBI, standing for Federal Bureau of Investigation. Okay. Sentence C, the museum exhibited the vase which had been unearthed in Greece. Pay attention to the pronunciation of museum. A lot of students mispronounce this word. Exhibited means show in the simple past tense. Displayed. The vase. Vase is the, let's say, American pronunciation, and in British, according to British pronunciation, it is pronounced vase. My accent tends to be more British, more American based. Which had been unearthed in Greece. So the museum exhibited or showed or displayed the vase which had been unearthed in Greece. Remember, one of the functions of past perfect tense is to explain an action that happened before another action in the past. So in this sentence, there are two sentences. One, the museum exhibited something, and the other sentence is that thing had happened in the past. So this one takes earlier, to the present time, or closer to the present time, and this sentence actually has happened let's say a long time ago, before this one, before the previous one. So this one is number 2 in the past, that is actually farther than the present moment, and this one is closer to the present moment. That's why we use had, actually past participle tense, the structure of that, of which is had plus past participle. So okay, number 2, depart means to go away, leave, turn away from, change or die. When it is used figuratively, it means die, because you actually leave this world. When you die, you leave this world. The noun form is departure. We arrived in the village in the morning and departed that night. So we had a very short stay there. Also you can say sojourn. Sojourn, it means you stay in a place for a short time. We arrived in the village in the morning and departed that night. We didn't stay there for so much time. Stan was vague about departing from his usual manner of choosing a partner. Stan was vague, it means unclear, ambiguous. Okay, he was not clear about his departing from his usual manner, about the possibility of breaking those habits, the prospect of breaking those habits. And what habits? About choosing a partner. We are not sure what kind of a partner the writer means, but as far as the meaning here is concerned in an objective way. Actually, he is not clear about the possibility of considering some or reconsidering his habits of choosing a partner, job partner, life partner, we are not sure. Sentence C. Vera was reluctant to mention that her uncle had long since departed. She was reluctant or unwilling. She didn't like to do something. And to do what? To mention that her uncle had long since departed, that her uncle had already passed away or died actually so much time ago. For die, you can say pass away. It's a very polite way and formal way to say. And the opposite of that, which is so impolite, is kick the bucket. It is so impolite, so do not use it. Okay. Okay. Word 3, coincide. Coincide means occupy the same place in a space, occupy the same time, correspond exactly, and agree. You know, in English, co as a prefix means together at the same time. That's why we have collocation, cooperation, collaboration, and so many other words. And incide means happening or taking place. So something that takes place at the same time with something else. Okay, that's why we have even correspond. Co-respond, respond together, respond to each other. If these triangles were placed one on top of the other, they would coincide. So if we just place these triangles is a geometrical shape that has 3 sides. You know, something like this. For example, I just move the cursor of my mouse in this way. This is a triangle. Okay. So if we put 2 triangles to each other on one top of the other, they would coincide or correspond to each other, and maybe actually they form a symmetrical shape. Okay. Okay. Because pets and Jim's working hours coincide, and they live in the same vicinity, they depart from their homes at the same time. So it is logical and also mathematical. Pets and Jim's work hours or working hours coincide. For example, they work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. exactly in the same, let's say, time schedule. And they live in the same vicinity. They live near each other. So, and also their workplace should be the same too. Therefore, they need to depart from their home, and leave home to reach the workplace at the same time. For example, they leave home at 7 to reach work at 8. Now, sentence C. My verdict on the film coincides with Adele's. My verdict on the film. Verdict here means, verdict has some other meanings, but here it means explanation or account. Explanation or account. For example, you see or you watch a film and then you just explain it to your friends. Okay, so this rendering or explanation of the film coincides or matches with adults. There is an apostrophe here, and it means adults explanation or adults verdict. Word 4 is a very simple one. Cancel means cross out. So there are some phrasal verbs here, such as cross out, mark so that it cannot be used, or wipe out, another phrasal verb. Remember, phrasal verb is a verb plus is a verb that consists of a principal verb plus an article or particle. So out here, and even off here. These are particles or of the phrasal verbs. Or call off. All of them mean, let's say, cancel. The stamp was only partially cancelled. Okay? This stamp was only partially cancelled. Not completely. Only partially. It means just one part of that, not completely, not thoroughly, not comprehensively. Let's say impartially. The opposite of partial is impartial. Okay. Sentence B. Because the first shipment contained defective parts, Mr. Zubin cancelled the rest of the order. So there is a cause and effect relationship here. First of all, because the first shipment means cargo, freight, delivery, or even a parcel. The first shipment, or sending some goods, or let's say merchandise, contained defective or problematic, or let's say destroyed or unwanted parts. Mr. Zubin, who had just given some order, cancelled the rest of the order. So it's clear. He wanted everything to be perfect. Having found just the right man for the job, Captain Mellider cancelled all further interviews. Sorry. Another grammatical point here that I can just explain to you is that when you see a sentence starting with having plus past participle, let me explain it here. Having plus past participle, okay, blah blah blah, comma, another sentence. So here in this sentence, having this structure actually takes place before this one. So there is a hierarchy of, or a sequence of let's say things happening chronologically ordered. It means at first this and then this. Now let me explain it to you. Having found, or after finding, you can say after finding the right man for the job. So this one actually it happens first, and then Captain Mellider cancelled the other interviews. So there was a queue of, or line of interviewees who wanted to be interviewed for the job as job candidates or applicants, and the employer actually found the best alternative, and therefore he just cancelled the other applicants. Debtor. Debtor, a person who owes something to another. Owe means actually has borrowed something and the person needs to just give it back. Debt, D-E-B-T, is the noun form. So if you just borrow some money from somebody or something else, not necessarily money, you will become that person's debtor. If I borrow $1 from you, I'm your debtor. The opposite of borrow is lend. Okay. As a debtor who had received many favors from the banker, Mr. Mertz was reluctant to testify against him. So another cause and effect relationship. As here means because. Because he was a debtor who had received many favors, kindness, rewards, I don't know, from the banker. So the banker has, let's say, given the person that is Mr. Mertz a lot of, the banker has done a lot of favors to him, perhaps financially because he was a banker. Mr. Mertz was reluctant or unwilling to testify against him, perhaps in the court of law, for example, to talk not to talk on behalf of Mr. We are not sure, we don't know his name or her name, the banker, his name. Yeah, we are not because of him. So the banker had been really nice to Mr. Mertz, perhaps giving him some, let's say, financial rewards and so on and so forth. And therefore, Mr. Mertz could not just testify against the banker. Okay. A gloomy debtor's prison was once the fate of those who could not repay their loans. Once upon a time, some time ago, a gloomy or dark or dismal. Let me write it down. Gloomy means dismal, dark, depressing. A gloomy debtor's prison. Okay, it's clear. A prison for debtors was once the fate or destiny or the ultimate condition or place of those who could not repay their loans or redeem, pay off, redeem. Okay. So if they couldn't just pay their loans off, they would end up being imprisoned. Okay. Word 6. Legible. Legible means able to be read. Pay attention to the pronunciation here, because the first or the usual form of read is read. The simple past is pronounced read, and also the past participle. So read, read, read. Able to be read. Here it is in a passive voice. Easy to read. Pay attention. Able to be read. Easy to read. Plain and clear. The opposite is illegible. Okay. Julia's handwriting is beautiful and legible. Her handwriting is clearly readable. Nancy hesitated in her reading because the words were scarcely legible. Because the words were almost illegible. Scarcely means barely, hardly. Okay, that's why Nancy hesitated or was so slow at reading, because the words actually were almost illegible. Our teacher penalizes us for compositions which were not legible. our teacher. Penalize means to give penalty or punishment, to punish. Penalize, to punish. Punish us or criticize us severely for compositions or essays which were not legible, which are not. Placard, American pronunciation, placard, British pronunciation. A notice to be posted in a public place, poster. Okay, I already showed its illustration to you. Sentence A, colorful placards announced an urgent meeting. Colorful placards announce, or you can say declare for announce, an urgent meeting. Placards were placed throughout the neighborhood by rival groups. So they were against each other, they were opposing each other, so they were just holding some placards in opposition to each other. Throughout means across the neighborhood by rival groups, opposing groups, competitors. Numerous placards appeared around the city calling for volunteers. Numerous means a lot of, means so many. It comes from number, means actually so many in number, in large quantities. Placards appeared around the city calling for, pay attention to this phrasal verb. Call for means request, means demand, need, require, ask for, calling for. So the holders of placards were requesting some volunteers, okay, and voluntary activities. Contagious, word 8, contagious, spreading by contact, easily spreading from one to another. Some diseases tend to be really contagious. For example, bacterial and viral diseases are generally contagious. You should take care of yourself, protect yourself. For example, the most ordinary or customary, let's say, type of viral diseases is cold. So if somebody has caught a cold, so you should take care of yourself. And there are some other diseases, such as STD diseases, that you should be really careful about. STD stands for sexually transmitted diseases, such as HIV, hepatitis, and so on and so forth. And these are too contagious. Okay. But they are not transmitted actually, for example, by sneezing or shaking hands. Alright. Sentence A, scarlet fever is contagious. Is a kind of viral disease that is contagious, yeah, particularly in children. I find that yawning is often contagious. Yeah, it's not a disease, it's a sign of fatigue. Let me write it down. Fatigue, tiredness, exhaustion. For example, if somebody yawns in front of you, you tend to do the same thing. Okay. You know, yawn means to open your mouth as far as possible to inhale a lot of oxygen, and because your brain actually at that time needs more oxygen. Interest. Okay, this one. Interest in the project was contagious, and soon all opposition to it collapsed. Interest in the project was contagious, so people just happened to have a lot of or develop a lot of interest in that project. That project suddenly, all of a sudden, became interesting, and therefore all opposition, or let's say friction or disagreement, collapsed or declined. D-E-C-L-I-E. Let me write it down. These are some synonyms: dwindle, decrease. Okay. So people just buried the hatchet. Bury the hatchet means make peace. It's an idiom. Because that project perhaps was financially interesting. And okay. Clergy, word 9, means a person prepared for religious work. Okay, for example, a priest. Okay, prepared for religious work, a clergyman as a group. Okay, we try never to hinder the clergy as they perform their sacred tasks. We do not try to hinder or impede obstruct thwart prevent preclude. So hinder the clergy as they perform their sacred means holy tasks. Okay. Friar Tuck was a member of the clergy who loved a jolly jest. He was a member of the clergy or a group who liked a jolly means happy and bright and full of life and optimistic jest. Jest here means joke. So he had a sense of humor. Say sense of humor. The majority of the clergy felt the new morality was a menace to society. So the majority, most of them, clergymen felt that the morality or ethics or set of ethics, mannerism, okay, was a menace. Menace means threat. To society. So it was actually not socially acceptable. Customary, usual. It was customary for wealthy Romans to recline while they were dining. It was usual for wealthy or affluent. Affluent is too wealthy or so wealthy. Romans to recline or lie. Recline means lie down. You know, not in an upright position as we usually dine. For example, when it comes to eating our meals, we just sit at the table and we are in an upright position. But they used to just lie down while dining. Dining means having their meals, such as dinner, lunch, etc. Particularly dinner. Done. Okay. Sentence B. The Beatles movie received their customary rave reviews from the critics. Beatles and Rolling Stones were two famous rock and roll music bands in the middle of 20th century. That is around, I think, in the 1960s, 1970s, and Rolling Stone is almost famous these days too. As far as I know, I don't have so much accurate information about music bands, but they were damn famous. Okay. Received the customary rave review. Pay attention to this. Rave review means they received a lot of admiration and praise. So that review or feedback was so positive. Rave review means positive feedback from critics. The traitor rejected the customary blindfold for the execution. Traitor means a betrayer. Treacherous. Treacherous. A disloyal person. Rejected the customary blindfold. Blindfold is a piece of cloth for, let's say, with which the eyes of a person is just kept closed during an activity. For example, here execution. Execution means killing a person. Means liquidation. Means capital punishment. Means death penalty. For example, by hanging, shooting, electrical chair, and so on and so forth. Okay. So he didn't want to have a blindfold or to be blindfolded while receiving that capital punishment. Transparent means easily seen through, clear, transparent. Transparent, for example, a pane of glass is transparent because you can see through that. See through. Transparency is the noun form and the opposite is opacity. Opacity means is not something that is not or opaque means something that is not transparent. You cannot see through that. Window glass is transparent. Well, it is transparent, it's clear. So Carlos Thomas is a man of transparent honesty and loyalty. Pay attention to the pronunciation of this word. It is not colonel, it is carnal. It doesn't have any re letter or r letter, but it is pronounced as carnal. Carnal, American. Connell, British pronunciation. So Colonel is a very, let's say, high rank military position, you know, and this person must have a lot of subjugates. So Colonel Thomas is a man of transparent or clear honesty and integrity. Also, you can say integrity. Okay. The homicide was a transparent case of jealousy that got out of hand. Homicide means murdering humans. The act of murdering humans was a transparent or clear case of jealousy. So the reason for actually committing homicide was jealousy that got out of hand, that became uncontrollable, got out of hand. We could not take it under our control. So it became unruly and it became uncontrollable. And the last word is scald, means to pour boiling liquid over, burn with hot liquid or steam, heat, scald. There is another word that has something to do with burning, and that is scorch. Scorch means to heat something without water, not necessarily with water. For example, when you accidentally scorch your shirt while ironing or using an iron. So if you just heat the shirt, let's say more than enough, it is scorched, and there is a mark on your shirt, for example, then you cannot just use it. So as a result of dehydration, or for example, if agricultural crops are heated so much under the sunshine, they are scorched and they are not eatable or eatable anymore. But it's called as a kind of scorch, but with boiling water. Do not neglect to scald the dishes before drying them. Yeah, if you are actually alone like me and you need to just do the dishes on your own, well, as a matter of fact, you are completely familiar with this recipe or instruction. So if you want to do the dishes or wash the dishes, first you need to just soak them or drench them or wet them with hot water or boiling water so that it will be easier for you to disinfect them, to wash them. Okay, the scalding lava pouring from the mountain placed everyone in peril. Scalding, boiling, lava. Lava, pay attention, the second A is a schwa, it's so weak, lava. So the scalding lava or melted rock material coming from the volcanoes, which is dangerous, so dangerous and horrifying. Pouring or coming from the mountain, volcanic mountains, placed everyone in peril. Peril means danger, so it just endangered or jeopardize. In danger or jeopardize or frightened everybody. By being hasty, Stella scalded her hand. So Stella was hasty, in a hurry, and therefore actually she scalded her hand. In English we say haste is waste. Not always, but generally yes. Because sometimes we need to hesitate over some tasks, and we should not be so rash when it comes to decision making. All right, that's it. Let me see. Thank you for watching this vocabulary lesson. As you see here, you can have access to the tags that direct you to the other posts with the same let's say information. And here I have modified my our common forms. You need to just log in. Certainly you need to log in, and if you're not actually, if you do not have any account and you do not want to create any, you can use your social media accounts to easily, for example, join our discussions. And also on apparat, because YouTube is filtered in Iran, censored in Iran, you can just listen to my lessons on apparat. And let me just show you some flashcards on Instagram. Here it is bachelor, as you can see, and this is corpse, a dead body, and there are some challenging questions with photos. Vacant means empty. Hardship means difficulty. Keen means eager, interested. And tact means wisdom. Oath means promise. Gallant means brave and being so polite, particularly to ladies. Abandon means to leave. And this is majestic. And also on YouTube you can, because I just create podcasts of my lessons and posts and just upload them on YouTube and Apparat, so you can just subscribe to my YouTube channel, please, and you will receive further English lessons. And if you like to participate in our online classes that are group classes and just have interaction with your classmates, just contact me here in the footer area. You can have access to my contact information. And I hope you have enjoyed this vocabulary lesson, and I hope to see you soon too. Thank you very much for your attention, and goodbye.